Hello again, back to reading. Well, this is a story about World War II. Now, I know a lot of the boys in my class have been wanting to hear about things about World War II and about the French Revolution because of our study of France. And this has a little bit to do with that, so that's one reason that we chose this for you. But another reason that we chose this for you, this is an article, an actual article, more written like a documentary. It's not a story, it's not a fairy tale. It is something that very much happened and is very true. When you look at these or this, do you think either of them are worth very much money? A rag and a couple pieces of fruit? No, generally you would not. But during wartime, they became very important. They became part of what could make or break a family's meal for a day or a week. So this story is about, after World War I, there were many soldiers in France that were unable to find work, and they found themselves in poverty. And so they found themselves selling fruit, selling flour, selling, rags that could be possibly made into something else, selling anything they could find in order to just get food to put on the table at their homes. Now, during this time, many countries faced poverty, and so the soldiers in France were listening to, well, I should back up a little bit. In Germany, a man named Adolf Hitler came into control, and he was telling the Germans that he was going to make things better for them if they would do what he said, if they followed his instructions. And so many of the German people thought, well, all right, and they make him their leader. Well, as Hitler makes Germany strong again, he then proceeds to start attacking weaker, less defensible countries that were around them, and France happened to be one of those countries. And so you find the French people who are still kind of reeling from World War I and trying to sell things, trying to make ends meet. And now they've got Germany as a country trying to take over again. That's when World War II starts coming into play and takes over. So what you're going to find in this story is that it's going to show the hardships, the progression, and the hardships that pretty much all of Europe had after World War II, or between World War II and World War I, and then into World War II. The French resistance, when they decided, this isn't working, and they start to rise up, is highlighted along with the role that the French children played in taking care of many of the missions that were going on that the French were trying to take it out and play. That didn't sound right, but you understand what I'm saying. All right, couple things that you might run into, some words that you might stumble on. Probably not the first one, but just in case. On 195, you're going to find the word ammunition. Bullets are the ammunition for guns. That one's pretty obvious. Number 2, soldiers entered or invaded the country to gain control of it. That's exactly what Hitler was trying to do with German soldiers. They were trying to go into smaller, weaker countries like France to take it over. So they were invading and then just scooping them up. Number 3, refugees have left their country to find shelter elsewhere. The French people, some of them were literally running to other countries that had not been taken over by Germany yet, and they were then just trying to flee in order to not become part of the whole German plan. Number 4, the government started rationing the food, giving out only small amounts to people. Whenever there's a war that goes on, and it goes on for some time, and there becomes a shortage of food or of services or of supplies, what they start to do is they ration them. They go, okay, you can't go to the grocery store, you can't buy all of the apples that you want. We have 2, each person can have 1, rather than each person can have as many as they want. That's what rationing is. And it's not just for food, it can be for supplies, it can be for clothing, it can be really for anything. They can ration during a wartime in order to make sure that everybody gets some. Number 5, the men secretly smuggled guns and supplies to help their country in the war. That's basically hiding things so that you can get guns or get other supplies that you might need to ward off the enemy that's attacking. So it's kind of being sneaky, hiding things in order to make it happen. I know that a lot of times we have to even still today smuggle in Bibles. It's not just guns and ammunition that gets smuggled. It's Bibles. It's other things that people need because the government says you can't have them. So smuggling is not always just a negative thing as well. So what I want you to really see in this story is that God is very faithful to the French people. He's very faithful to the children that are in need. And you'll see that as you read this story yourself. So I hope that you enjoyed, especially I know you boys have been interested in what was happening during that time period. So here's your chance to learn about it. All right, it's just a 4-page story. Take your time with it though. All right, have a great day.